This video is brought to you by TikTok. Here, you can go into someone's user and start following me and check all the videos and put the love and the like buttons. The link is in the description below.
Another video is brought to you by Instagram. Just like TikTok, you could go onto someone's user and start following me on Instagram, just like TikTok, and put the love and the like buttons. And don't forget, share the videos with your friends if I upload a new video on my Instagram channel, just like TikTok. Link is in the description down below, and be sure to check it out. Hello everybody, this is NWR 2006 Productions here. So today's visits from Walmart, I just made a purchase, is the Thomas & Friends Push Along Toys 2025 version of 80th anniversary is Sodor Adventure Pack. Inside the box, you'll get Thomas, Henry, James, Percy, Annie, and Clarabelle. In front of the box, there's a promo picture of CGI is Thomas the Tank Engine, Percy the Small Engine, and there's the logo, Thomas & Friends. On top of it, Fisher-Price. We can see James and Percy. There's the back of it. There's Thomas, Percy, Henry, James, Annie, and Clarabelle. And there's Henry, James again. And there's Thomas and James, but take a look of James. He's missing his half of his cab, like a window, of course, and the end of the boiler. But that's okay, but hold on. Okay, this is better. You can see it properly. Right here. Yep, but that's okay. And here's the different pose. Thomas in a different angle. There's Percy. Better. James and Henry. And there's the logo. Yep, different pose of Thomas the Train in CGI. But I'm glad I made a purchase because I'm rich enough to buy it. Lucky me. So we'll go ahead and open it up to see what's up with them, like those 4 steam engines and 2 coaches. Yep, let's do it. Here we go. Alright, we got those 4 locomotives out from the box and 2 coaches. We'll pull them out from this one, shall we? Yeah, let's do this. And we'll give a close-up one by one of Thomas the Tank Engine and friends, like those characters, of course. There we go. That should do it. Okay, the first engine we'll start is Thomas the Tank Engine because this is a CGI version of 80th anniversary of 2025 because I love this model. So this is the front view of Thomas the E2 tank locomotive. There's his face. He looks happy and his eyebrows raised up and his eyes turn left. As we turn right, this is his side tanks of the right view of a picture of a workman is painting his red stripes. There's the number 1 on his side tanks on the right. And there's the left. And there's the back view. But look at his buffers. His buffers are red instead of black. But in the front of it, his buffers are black. I love this model because I'm gonna put the thumbs up button because I love this toy of 80th anniversary of Thomas the Tank Engine because that reminds me about good old memories of classic Thomas the Tank Engine in the model era and CGI era. Man, memories. And take a look at his side rods. It's been updated as well. It rolls freely, but not the side rods. It's standing still, menacingly. And there's the whistle. Red stripes on his boiler, and there's the dome. And his lamp is red, especially his footplate. Look at that. It's red instead of white, but that's okay. I love this model. It's my favorite, if you know what I mean, Chickabeam. Up next is Henry the Green Engine. There he is. There's Henry. This is the 80th anniversary from Thomas the Tank Engine. Is the push-along toy of Henry, but what do you know? I love this model because this is the updated one, and the classic Thomas the Train toys had finally returned from last year of 2025. I'm so happy they released it from last year for the seasons, but I'll be darned, just tell me about that. But let's give a close-up to this engine, shall we? There's the front view of Henry. We can see his happy face, and his buffers are painted black, and his footplate is red instead of white. Of course. He has 12 driving wheels, and it rolls freely. And this is the left view of Henry. That's the back view, but if you look closely, however, his buffers and his running board is painted green instead of black and red, but that's okay. And this is the right view of Henry, the Green Engine. And we can see his side rods are added to his chassis because this is the updated version of the CGI Henry. Just tell me about that because it didn't move, only the wheels does. It's standing still. Menacingly. Silly me. Looks like I'm very funny for this video because I love jokes. Up next is James the Red Engine. Here's James. There he is. This is the 80th anniversary of the push-along toy from Thomas the Train is James because he's red. And let's give a close-up to this locomotive, shall we? There's James. There's his happy face of CGI. And his buffers is black. And his footplate is red instead of white, of course. That's the left view of James. And that's the back view of James, and what do you know? His buffers is black. Hooray! Yippee! Hooray! Hooray! And this is the right view of James. Here we go. But I gotta say, I love this toy model of this train named James because that reminds me about the good old classic memories of Thomas the Tank Engine. But I gotta say, I love this model. It's pretty cool, hasn't it? I'll put the thumbs up if you guys are watching this, especially for me, of course. I like this toy design of James, along with Thomas, Henry, Percy, Annie, and Clarabelle, of course. Yep, that will do. And that's right. And take a look at his wheels. It rolls freely of course, hold on. Yep, you can see his wheels is moving. And look at his side rods. It's been added to his chassis as well, but it doesn't move. It's standing still. Menacingly. Menacingly. Oh no. Up next is Percy the Small Engine. There he is. This is the 80th anniversary of the push-along toy from Thomas the Train is Percy. Because I love this model. It's one of my favorites. And that reminds me about the good old memories when I was a kid. And now the CGI characters had finally returned from last year of 2025. But of course, I like this. And let's give a close-up to this saddle green tank locomotive, shall we? Okay, there's the front view of Percy. There's his happy face. His buffers is black, and his footplate is red instead of white. There's the left view of Percy. That's the back view. His buffers is black again. And that's the right view of Percy. There he is. Better. And now it rolls freely instead of his side rods, because his side rods are added to his chassis for this update train character. It doesn't move, it's standing still. Menacingly! Menacingly! Oh no! Wee! Woohoo! Wee! Okay. Better. Lastly, we have Thomas's coaches named Annie and Clarabelle on his branch line. But of course, there's Annie and Clarabelle. There's Annie's happy face, especially Clarabelle, because they got some red lipsticks on their faces, of course, because that's their makeups. Let's start with Annie, because let's give a close-up to her model, shall we? Okay. We can see Annie. There's her happy face, but her openest mouth, and there's some white teeth. That's her lipsticks. Of course. There's the left view of Annie. That's the back view. And that's the right view. Oops, hold on. Okay, good. Especially Clarabelle. There she is. There's her face, but her mouth is closed. Red lips. There's the left view of Clarabelle. Yep. Hold on. Okay, that's the back view. Yep, that's right, that's the back view. And here's the right view of Clarabelle. And now, those two coaches rolls freely, of course. but it looks pretty cool. Come on. Whee! 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 And now, those two coaches are being hooked up. Annie in the front and Clarabelle in the back. But hold on. Let me get this coaches hooked up. Okay. Perfect. Of course. Now, Thomas is coupling up his train, but hang on. You'll see what it looks like. Okay. It's very tricky to see, if you know what I mean. Okay, here we go. Here's Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. Oops. Very nice, hasn't it? Yep, of course. Very nice. Hang on. Done. Okay, guys, there you have it. This is the Thomas and Friends Sodor Adventure Pack. Is the push-along toys is Thomas, Henry, James, Percy, Annie, and Clarabelle. And there you have it. Hope you have a good day, but you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, and drop a question in the comments. And have a good one. This is NWR 2006 Productions, sign off. Bye-bye.